Hi everyone, Transform the Fan 5000 here just with another review. So today's going to be a little bit of a different video. It's going to be an upgrade kit on the War for Cybertron Game Edition Studio Series Megatron. This is something that I'm doing a video on because I've not seen anyone post about this. There's various upgrade kits for his cannon, but this specific set I haven't seen anyone talk about, so that's what we're going to be discussing today. So these are the figures I have out. I do have the Game Edition Barricade, but he's away at the moment, and I do have some. I have Wolf Cybertron, Bumblebee the original, and a few Fall of Cybertron figures I have are the Optimus, the Shockwave. I got Jazz, and Soundwave and Blaster. So if you want to see any sort of comparisons between those figures and Megatron with his upgrade kit, then just let me know. Now I'm just going to take these away for a moment because we're going to be talking about Megatron. Now this video I normally edit my videos, cut all the bloopers out and everything like that and clean the audio up and add music, but I think sometimes it's just nice to humanize the video a little bit and actually talk without any interruptions in with anything. So yeah, it's just nice to talk and upload. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'll just bring the camera a little bit closer here for you. Now, this figure is actually not as bad as what people make him out to be, in my opinion. He is a very good figure, and generally he is quite accurate. I think the only things we need from an upgrade kit, maybe DNA, is for me personally a new head, because in the games Megatron's sort of bucket was more, it was just wide. He had a chunky head, and if you played the games, And I think we definitely need new thighs. It would be really nice to have a thigh swivel here. You know, make complete new upper legs, and I think would be pretty good. Also, we need swivels for his wrist. Anyway, you are here for the upgrade kit. So what the upgrade kit is, so you get three options to upgrade, and you can buy all three. So the first one, I'll just set Megatron to the side here, is this thing here, which attaches to his cannon on Megatron already. Now, if you don't already know, so the original Transformers figure for Megatron, the Generations one, which sadly I don't own either copy or any edition of it. I know there's quite a few. That Megatron was based on sort of concept art with his cannon, whereas his game cannon actually looked like this, which is another upgrade. Now there are a few different versions of this on the market, some smaller, but this is what came with this, and I got it from AliExpress, so I'll link it in the description if you guys want to buy it. And the final upgrade that I got was a backpack from Megatron. One thing I definitely feel is lacking with sometimes the game editions is the backpacks, because normally a lot of people display the figure like this and you don't really care much about the back. However, when you're playing a game and you spend so much time in this sort of position where you're constantly having the person's back to you because you're in third person, you start to notice the details of the back. So yeah, the backs on the game edition, Optimus, B, Cliff Jumper. I think Barricade's okay, but definitely Megatron as well because he was a sort of standout from the game. We do need better backs, and this is what this does, and it does a quite a good job with it. Now, as I was saying, with the original Wolf from Megatron Deluxe, his cannon was based in concept art, and the final cannon looked like this. So it gives you an upgrade so you can have a game accurate Megatron or a toy concept art accurate Megatron. Now, just to make it easier for me, I'm gonna unpeg Megatron's weapon here. Now, what you can do is just unplug this, and all you're gonna do is there is a little slot here, a little bit there, which actually holds the peg here, the 5mm peg. Now there is a 5mm peg in there, which tabs into there. So all you're going to do is just push that together, make sure that it sits in that groove, and there you have the concept art original toy from Megatron's cannon. Now, all you have to do really is just plug it on Megatron. Now the strength of these actually, the quality is quite good. The only thing I'm sort of concerned about is mainly this cannon. This one not so much, but the 5mm peg on this. I mean, it's a strong, feels sturdy. I mean, obviously not if you're going to smash and break it, but the only thing I'm worried about is the 5mm peg. But as long as they're gentle, it should be fine. So I'll just bring Megatron a little closer up just so you can see what it actually looks like on him. I don't think it looks too bad, to be honest, personally. I think that the size of it does suit him, and in a way, even though we played Wolf Sabtron with this cannon, this, for me, almost looks more natural, because when you're looking at a Megatron toy from the games, you think of this, and not necessarily the game. When you're thinking of the toy at least, not necessarily the character, but the toy. So as a toy, I think this fits aesthetically better than that. It's going to be up to you whether you want toy accuracy, game accuracy, or a bit of both. So that's that. Now this next cannon here, I'm going to give you a look up. This it's detailed quite nicely. I think it's 3D printed. Now this can come off, so just be aware that that can come off. Now there are a few, as I said, a few different versions of this cannon on the market. This, when I put it on, I feel this cannon is too big for this figure. Personally, I think it's too big. However, when I was looking back at some of the cutscenes, Megatron had a massive cannon. Now, I'm going to put it on the figure and you're probably going to say, wow, that is too big. But let me get him in some poses and he actually looks pretty decent with it. And this is harder to peg in, but you just got to be gentle. Now that is the cannon. Yeah, it does look too big, doesn't it? Megatron had a big cannon, but it didn't look that big. Now, when I was looking at the cutscenes, the actual barrel does extend quite far down and quite far up. And obviously with the fusion cannon, it is quite big anyway. Now, when you actually get him in some sort of poses, it doesn't actually look too bad. Some angles do make it look rather big. However, other times you can get in poses such as this one here. That looks a little bit better and it doesn't look too bad, at least in my opinion. When you sort of hide it like this, it does actually look more natural. And if you still think this is too big, which I completely understand why if you do, like this sort of angle here, this is an angle we'd probably be used to, whether you're in multiplayer and you see Megatron running up to you with a fusion cannon, you'd see this sort of angle. That actually looks pretty good. So if you still think this is too big, I completely understand where you're coming from. And, like I said, these all get sold individually. You can buy them all, or you can buy one of them, or two of them, whatever. So, you could buy this, or just that, whichever, and buy a separate cannon from someone else who's selling it the same but smaller. Now, there is another one on the market which is smaller, but this compartment opens up, and you can slide like a bullet inside or something and close the compartment back up, like you do in the game where, he reloads and everything like that. So, I think for this, it's going to be down to personal preference. Do you want bigger cannon, smaller cannon, or gamer, the figure accurate cannon? So now I'm just gonna take the cannon off. We're gonna be moving on to one of the main reasons I bought this set. So the backpack. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a detailed look at this, and this does store in alt mode. So this does store in alt mode, and it doesn't look too out of place. The cannons, you can sort of replace his original cannon that came with the figure, but yeah, that's when you notice in alt mode that they're too big. Now this is what came with Megatron. Very, very nicely detailed, and these here, they do move. So I guess if you want to recreate the sort of dash ability that figures had in the game when they dash forward, maybe you could use these as a as sort of little thrusters. I'm not sure whether they are sort of compatible with blast effects, so that's one thing I can't actually just try and video right now. Let's get some here again. Doing this live. So yeah, they are blast effect compatible. So you could have Megatron launching himself forward if you really wanted to. The other side is quite nicely detailed as well. So all you got to do is pretty straightforward. A little 5mm peg there and a tab there. All you got to do, there's also a lip here which goes under here. So you just slide it in, give it a little push. Now, this does change the look of the figure, pretty good. The only thing I think I wish maybe would have been different was if they extended this to, if they extended the backpack to sort of cover more the shoulder area, like maybe I added it, I added an extra little bit that came over here to bulk him up, because in Megatron in the game, these sections did sort of come over and sit forward a little bit, so that would have been nice, especially if you had a bigger head. But what you've been waiting for, the back. So it does change the look of the figure. Doesn't add too much of a backpack to him anyway. I mean, he was always a bigger character. But this is, again, it's going to come down to really personal preference. What do you want? Do you want, a game edition accurate, or do you want a figure concept art? Now I'll put the cannons back on just so you can sort of see what it looks like from the back with them on. If you want to pause the video just so you can sort of see. And I did, just while I remember, I did do the mod where I cut the little tabs off his legs. And yeah, this is definitely a mod I recommend doing. It's not too scary. I mean, you don't want to cut too far into the joint there, because you'll break it, but just snip it off enough and maybe sand it down a little bit, and it, it's fine. So again, that's the larger cannon. So overall, I think it's quite good. The only thing I think what's, maybe the negative is the set altogether expensive. Altogether came just under what this guy cost by himself. So I think I paid about £30 for the two cannons, accessories, and the backpack. So when you add it together, it's, this is coming to over leader class price point, way over. And it's disappointing in a way, because Hasbro, they really should be. I get they have a budget, but I think little things like this would be nice to get right, so we don't have to buy upgrade kits. So yeah, it's really personal preference. I mean, this DNA upgrade kit for Optimus, I don't think I'm going to get that, because I'm happy with how Optimus looks, how he is. I don't think he needs the upgrade, but I see why people would want that. But for the price point, and for what it includes, I don't personally think I need that. If they did a kit for B and Barricade and everyone else, maybe, but, again, it's what do you want the kit for? It's, upgrades are very, you gotta pick and choose, because they can get expensive very easily. What I'm going to do is just going to show you what this figure looks like just as his normal cannon. So again, you just want to unplug that. Now I am getting a few stress marks around here, so again, you just got to be careful. So that's him with his normal cannon and the backpack. Now again, this can store, it can store in alt mode. I'm just going to get him into a bit of a pose here. But yeah, you can store these in alt mode. I will sort of pause this video and then re-record it, resume recording, shall I say, and show you what the options are in vehicle mode. But again, when it comes to the actual decision whether you want to buy it, I think the main factors you've got to ask yourself is, am I happy? That's the first thing you've got to say. Am I happy with the Hasbro release? If you're not, you've then got to ask yourself, do I want a Gamer Edition Megatron that is game accurate? Or do I want one that is toy accurate, concept art accurate? Or do I want both? Now, if you want both, then I think you've got an expensive bill. However, you've got to also ask yourself, is it worth it, the price? So that's it. What do you want, and how much do you want to pay? So, here's Megatron, and here he is dashing forward. Now, these do actually just pop off. So they do just pop off. And they slide back on very easy. I don't want to, break it or anything, because I don't know who's designed it, because obviously I don't know them. I don't know if they've designed it just for themselves, for their own figure, and decided to sell it on AliExpress, or if they've got the designs from someone else. I don't know. But let's get this guy into vehicle mode, and I'll show you the sort of options that you do have with him. So here we have him in his vehicle mode. And again, if you want this kit, I'll leave it in the description. Not sponsored or anything, but yeah. So this is a standard configuration. Now you can sort of transform the figure with the backpack on. Obviously, the cannons are the same as this. You have to remove it, but you can do it with this on. It's easy to take it off, but I mean, you can have it whichever way you want. Now, there's two ways you can do this. So you can you can have to move that out of the way, but you can plug it in the front and have it like that. And have it, almost like he has two little, just unpegged it there, almost like he has two cannons at the front there, two extra little cannons. Or you can have it the other way, where it's kind of more like this, and it does stay more secure in there that way. So maybe it's more of a battle ram now, or it does actually suit it more like that, because it's sort of designed. But it does work well. Now, these bits. So, okay. So, you can have this in mainly one way, but you can do different sort of takes on it. So it doesn't obviously have a peg this side where you can plug it in. I mean, you could plug it in like that if you want, but I don't think that's a very good look. So you can plug it in either like this, or you can just switch the front of the tank around and have that as a back now, and this is the front. Which, to be honest, this isn't actually that bad, because you have the cannon at the front there standard, and it's just, that's how it is. And if Megatron wants to turn like it is in game, you just sort of hover around. Whereas this is more of a turret, kind of like a tank, on Earth. It can rotate around. So there's that. That's what it looks like from the top. Or you can have the big one, which you can plug into the front here. Do you really want that look? I mean, yeah, it's, I don't think that looks too game accurate. And again, you can do the exact same here and just plug it at the top, just like that. And again, if you want to switch it around, by all means, you can just sort of switch it around. So again, it's really down to personal preference. So this is really going to be, I do recommend this, but I think you've just got to ask yourself, what do you want the kit for? Do you want it for the game accuracy, toy accuracy, both? And how much are you willing to spend? if you're willing to spend no more than 20, then I suggest maybe give the backpack, because the fusion cannon on the standard doesn't look too bad. I know people don't like it, they think it's too skinny and too short, but you know, he has the cannon at the end of the day. He doesn't have the backpack, so personally, if you could only buy one, I'd say the backpack. But if you really don't care about the backpack, then it's going to be, I think these two were sort of similarly priced, the two cannons. So it's going to be, you know, what do you want it for? And you know, something you can do as well, because the back plate sort of swivels around, you can actually, you know, twist this piece around so it's not in the normal configuration fault mode, and have these as sort of front cannons too, you know, or you can just rotate it back round and fold it under. But again, it's really you know, your choice what you want to do with it. Just as we get to the final thoughts of the video, just got Megatron back in robot mode here. One thing I forgot to mention actually is, you know, if you want, you can actually plug them in, as they do have 5mm ports. You can actually just put them in his hand. Again, I don't want to, you know, I want to be delicate with this one, but you know, you can plug them in, so he can hold them, and other figures can hold these, you know, as their own sort of handheld weapon. And hey, if you really wanted to be strange with the backpack, then you could even plug it into his hand here and have it as a bit of a cannon. It doesn't hold very well, but or maybe even a shield, you know. So that's my sort of review on this. Again, I've not seen anyone else do this, so I just thought, you know, it's worth talking about. It's definitely an upgrade. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've got to say. And again, with the mod you can do with his knees, you know, do that at your own risk. I'm not going to show the mod obviously, because I mean, you know, it's already done. I can't undo it. However, there are plenty of good mod videos out there, so I'd watch those, you know, if you're considering doing a mod, and you know, do that, you know, at your own risk. So here's just sort of a quick comparison. It does bulk Megatron up quite a lot next to Prime, because Prime was quite big anyway, and yeah, he definitely has more presence. So again, if you kind of want to see how he stacks up against Barricade or anyone, I'll see if I can find those figures. They're going to be a bit awkward to find, you know, the old Fall of Cybertron and the other figures, because they're in a box. But I'll do my best. So if you do, I'll probably post them as a, you know, as a post on YouTube or on Instagram. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you. Oh, before I go, actually, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has watched the Halloween special. That was an absolutely overwhelming experience emotionally, and you know, I really appreciate it. Me and Harrison we collaborated on it together, and it's got it's received amazing support, and I just want to say thank you. Spooky season isn't sort of, you know, it's over, but it's not over completely for this channel yet, because here in the UK we sort of celebrate something called Bonfire Night. So I actually have a Bonfire Night video coming out where I wrote some spooky stories for you all to listen to, narrated by D. Barry Audio, who is the voice of Nexus Prime, Onyx Prime, Wheeljack, Quake, and a couple of others in my series. So again, Bonfire Night, check that video out, set those reminders for the premiere, and yeah. Anyway, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, comment your thoughts. What do you think about this kit? Is it something you're going to get, or is it an easy pass? Are there other upgrade kits that you're thinking about getting with the War of Cybertron Game Edition line? And if you want to follow me on Instagram, just search me on TFFan5000. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you had a spooky Halloween and have a good bonfire night.